Welcome back, Critical Mass neighbors. I just got out of seeing A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, and this is a movie about Fred Rogers. You might remember him from the children's television show Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood way back in the 80s and 70s. Now, I don't know really how to describe this movie to you other than to say that you are participating in a transformational experience. This movie is very, what I would say, meta. And meta means that this movie itself is aware of its audience and its own existence. It knows what it's doing to you. So you're watching this movie as a participant, and that's really weird to say. It starts off with Tom Hanks introducing the movie as though he's entering his television show. Tom Hanks opens a picture board, and it's a big piece of cardboard with doors on it, and behind each door is a picture. And he opens one at a time, revealing his friends, and until he comes to his friend Lloyd. And Lloyd looks like a disoriented individual with a broken nose. He looks out of place. He looks like he's a troubled guy. And that's when you find out that this movie is not about Mr. Rogers. This movie is about Lloyd. So who is Lloyd? Lloyd is just a regular guy who has his perspective on the world, which is the same as most people probably. It's about negativity, just making your way, capitalizing on perhaps other people's misfortune, just basically doing what other people do. And Lloyd is going through some family issues, and his work assigns him to go interview Fred Rogers. And he doesn't like this because he's kind of like an expose journalist. He finds the goods and he turns it around and he paints everything in a negative light. Well, he has to do this. He's being forced by his boss. And that's when the journey begins for Lloyd. Because Mr. Rogers, I don't know how exaggerated this film is, but he is probably the nicest guy who has ever existed on the face of the earth. And yeah, you can play a character that is like that. But I imagine the only reason they're making this film is because the people around him are saying, no, this is true. This guy is literally a saint. What you're in for is a ride where Lloyd comes to terms with his family situation, his outlook on life, because of his interactions with Fred Rogers. Mr. Rogers has a way of helping you deal with your feelings, achieving a perspective on life that is more positive, more people-centric, more accepting, more forgiving. And I'm going to tell you, if you're not changed by the end of this movie, then you're made of stone. I spent probably 30% of this movie with tears in my eyes. I wasn't going to see this movie. I said, oh, we did a few uploads for the channel. That should be good for the week. We did Frozen 2. That was a decent movie. People are probably going to be interested in that. I probably don't have to do a biopic. There's been so many biopics lately. And this is about Mr. Rogers. Okay, I'm telling you, if this is a contender, like this is an Oscar-worthy film. Hindsight 2020. If I hadn't gone to see this film, I would have been worse off. Leaving this film, I felt like I wanted to be a better person. So all I can say, really, is that if this was the television programming on in the early 80s, the kids back then had a surrogate father. They had a clinical psychologist to listen to them, to talk to them. And if you think about today, with everything being blasted at the kids, all of the online content, all of the programming, the video games, the advertising, life is going so fast now. And with the divorce rate, I believe, up around 50%, a lot of these families are breaking up and children are growing up in single-parent homes. And we don't have programming like Mr. Rogers anymore. We have, well, I guess it started with Ren and Stimpy, and now we have, I don't know, SpongeBob, Family Guy. And while I do see a lot of entertainment value in these programs, for me, I enjoy these programs immensely. You have to wonder what effect it has on the kids. And it's no wonder kids are having so many mental health issues with anxiety and depression when this is what they're being exposed to. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood made every episode about the kids and how he could help the kids and talk them through their problems and their feelings. Make them understand that what they're feeling was normal, maybe how to deal with those feelings. And this movie really gave you a new perspective on life. It made you question, are you sure what you find most important in life is what you should find most important in life? So when is the last time a movie did that for you? It did that for me today. I would say that every teen, every adult should see this movie. Every single one of them. And it's not going to zap you with amazing effects and exciting action. But it's going to stop and reset your being to tell you, you know, quiet down, search yourself, find out if how you see the world is the right way to see the world. I'm going to give this movie an 8.5. I really do think this is a wonderful movie. Again, it's not gonna blast your senses. It's a drama. It's slow-paced, but there is so much value in this movie. Go see the movie. This is well worth your time. Once again, thank you for tuning into Critical Mass. I'm going to put up a poll right here so you can decide what we upload on Tuesday. People don't seem to be going to the discussion tab or finding the discussion tab. So here's the poll, and you can answer the question, what you want to see, what kind of video, and we'll make that happen. Thanks again for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, help us with the YouTube algorithm, and we'll see you next time.
Making your way to the movies today takes everything you've got. The fact they charge $10 for popcorn doesn't help a lot. All the movies sound the same, and the social justice stuff is lame. Critical Mass can save the day, help you retain some of your pay. You should check out our YouTube stream, like and subscribe today.